it's one of the things that's keeping us down. We need to make sure we support our minority contractors, our minority businesses, our minority small businesses. I'm not going to be able to stay that long. I'm not going to church. I can tell you I was going to church. I was here on time at 8 o'clock. I got another, it's different than church. I got my wife all up on my stuff. So I told her I was living with this. I said, I got to run down to the street to Oxon Hill. Where's Oxon Hill? And then I'll be back. And there's a thing we have to go to in our neighborhood. So thank you for this. You know, it's interesting. I woke up my son this morning, my 16-year-old, and I said, why are you having a hard time getting up? It was 11:30 in the morning. And he said, because you gave me that book last night. He reads a lot. And I said, what book? And I had just given him Kaffir Boy. I don't know if you've heard of this book. It was by a guy named Mark Lefebvre. I read the book in 1989, and it was about it growing up under apartheid in South Africa. And I said, you liked it? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, that's really cool, because guess what I'm doing? I'm getting the Nelson Mandela Award today. And he's like, wow, that is so cool. And, you know, it really does mean a lot to me. And the reason why Joe said that he's doing this is because of my support of President Obama. And it was interesting, you know, he announced it, and a week later, I decided to chair his campaign in Maryland, along with Elijah Cummings, and we talked about many different roles in it. And I thought that he could win. I thought that he should win. I wasn't sure that he would win, but I thought it was the right thing to do, and it was the right thing for the country. Now, as we sort of fast forward now, and we look back on it, and people are beating him up, and they're beating, and it's all masked. We know what they're really beating up about, right? Because this is a guy who came into the White House, and people forget. And you know, Nelson Mandela's time was a little more clear. You were black or you were white, you knew where you could go, where you couldn't go, and it was actually institutionalized. And now racism and prejudice in our country is much more hidden and far more subtle. And so what's going on with President Obama, I just watch it every day and I'm just shaken by it. Here's a guy that came into the presidency. We were on the verge of a depression and a deep recession. And as I was driving over here, listening to the radio, stock market blowing out the records, everyone's making all this money, economy's coming back, there's a lot of folks that need help. But we're certainly not where we were when he came in. We were in a war that we're no longer in. We were the only civilized country in the world that didn't provide health care for all of its citizens. And we're having some issues here in Maryland. I'm not going to get political. but we will have health care for all of our citizens. So President Obama has done such a wonderful job, and he's been such a great president, and we have to keep being vigilant. And Joe and the folks in this room do that all the time. And we need to, we have some problems here in Maryland we need to work on. We have the #2 minority achievement gap in the United States here in Maryland. We have job issues, we have people unemployed here in Maryland that need opportunity right here in Prince George's County. So there's a lot going forward. This really means a lot to me. I was glad that Obi could come by coming out of church, because God is good all the time. So we know that.